Hey everybody, and welcome to Plastic Nostalgic, where all toys are nostalgic. Eventually. Now today I have a couple of G.I. Joes, or G.I. Joe and a Cobra that I wanted to open up. A couple of figures I picked up at a Comic-Con not too long ago. And I wanted to see how they compare to the ones that I remember. These were put out in 2008, around the 25th anniversary, so let's get these out of the package and check them out. Okay, today we have a couple of G.I. Joe action figures. This one, G.I. Joe, the fighter pilot, codename Captain Ace, and this one, the Cobra enemy communication specialist, Tele-Viper. Now, I saw these two in a bin at a local Comic-Con, so it was pretty cheap price, so I picked them up. I hadn't seen any of these smaller carded G.I. Joes before, but they are made by Hasbro, so I figured I'd give them a shot. These came out around the 2008, around the 25th anniversary. I'm kind of surprised they did, seeing that they had 25th anniversary figures out already as well. These are just the figures. There's no accessories in these at all. And you can see it does look a lot like the old G.I. Joe explosion background card backs. And here we have a picture of the fighter pilot, Captain Ace, beside his action figure. A little mini checklist on the back with some other action figures available. Kamakura, Cobra Slice, Beachhead, Sand Viper, and Dusty. A couple of them I recognize, but I'm not familiar with most of those. Also has the file card on the back. I'm going to cut this rubber band out of the way to free up the action figure inside. And try to read this card. Fighter pilot, codename Captain Ace. File name, Armbruster Brad J. Primary military specialty, pilot. Secondary military specialty, intelligence operations. Birthplace, Providence, Rhode Island. Grade 03, captain of U.S. Air Force. Ace would rather fly than do anything else. During high school, he worked after school and weekends to pay for flying lessons. He spent 1 year flying pipelines in Alaska and 2 years stunt flying for movies before enlisting in the U.S. Air Force. Now, this is really tiny. He joined the G.I. Joe team after serving in pilot combat training school as a senior instructor, like my eyeballs. If it's built to fly, then Ace can fly. He's right at home in the cockpit of all types of planes and has an intuitive knack for getting the most out of them. It's not his piloting genius that earned him his code name. It comes from his only other entertainment, poker. He's a mean poker player who never loses. Never. And he doesn't even cheat. That's why he's called Ace. When the enemy is in my sights, he can't run or hide because I'll get him and clip his wings for good. Okay, with all that tiny writing on this tiny package, it's kind of tough to read there. And it's a lot smaller than the old ones, the old file cards. So let's get Ace out of here very carefully. See how he stands up to those classic O-ring figures that I'm so used to. Slide him out of there. He's got a little rubber band left on him. And here is Captain Ace. I had an Ace when I was a kid, but he came with my Sky Striker. Okay, this has he looked a lot different back then too, with his helmet that covered his head. And as try as I might, I tried to keep that helmet with him, but I eventually lost it. But this does seem like it has all of the articulation of those old Joes, with the knees bending, hips swiveling, arms rotate 360 degrees, and with the swivel arm. When I first started getting G.I. Joes, they did not have the swivel arm. And he's pretty detailed figure. You can tell he's made out of some cheaper kind of plastic than even the 25th anniversary figures. But I believe this was this particular type of G.I. Joe with the small packaging was sold in Dollar Tree or Dollar General. I'm not sure which one, back in 2008. And while it was a cheaper version and it kept the interest alive for G.I. Joes, I collected a lot more of the 25th anniversary ones. So here is Ace, Captain Ace. Now let's check out Cobra's Tele-Viper. Cobra the enemy. This also has a rubber band on the inside. Let's remove that. And maybe I can see what's on this file card. Also has the same visual checklist and same super tiny file card here. Communication Specialist, codename Tele-Viper. Tele-Viper troops. Holy moly, this is hard to read. Are the radio and satellite communication specialists of the Cobra Legions. The micro-miniaturized equipment built into their helmets and web gear include a high-speed burst microwave transceiver, VHF and laser signal units, a random series digital encryption module, third-generation passive jamming devices, a GPS receiver, a voice synthesizer, and an FM receiver with automatic frequency control. All high-end Cobra Command personnel have a Tele-Viper trooper assigned to them as their personal link to headquarters and as bodyguards. Each Tele-Viper trooper carries a multi-shot grenade launcher and suppressed submachine gun, as well as all his communications equipment, which means that even while he is calling down an airstrike, he can be laying down his own cover fire. It is suspected that off-duty Tele-Viper troopers are employed by Cobra as telemarketers to sell pirated technology. Half our job is to provide clear communications up and down Cobra chain of command. The other half of our job is to degrade or completely jam all G.I. Joe communications. Now let's get the old Tele-Viper out of this plastic. Always be careful, because you don't want to accidentally cut the Tele-Viper and have him call in an airstrike on you. Still have a little bit of that rubber band on him that kept him locked in that package. I do have the O-ring on the inside, like the old Joe's. He has the Cobra insignia on his head, on his helmet, above those mirrored shades. The Cobra insignia on his belt buckle as well. His sleeves are rolled up, so you know he means business. And also all of the usual articulation. Guy even has the hole in the back for the screw, and it also for holding in his gear. But unfortunately, these figures did not come with any gear at all. So these would be good for small children, I guess, so they don't choke on their accessories. That's the Cobra Tele-Viper, communication specialist. And Captain Ace, G.I. Joe fighter pilot. Now these were fun-looking action figures. These look like they're a little less quality and kind of bulky in some parts, like the shoulders here, and loose in parts where they should be kind of stiff. That O-ring with some lost technology. So there we have Captain Ace and the Tele-Viper. Thanks for joining us today on Plastic Nostalgic, where all toys are nostalgic. Eventually. Now, it had been a while since these were created, so these are almost nostalgic, but they were made for the nostalgia at the time, and now they're even more nostalgic. Not my cup of tea, so I won't be collecting any more of these small card G.I. Joes, but it's nice to have a couple extra Joes in my collection. And if you want to see some more unboxing of some nostalgic or soon-to-be nostalgic toys, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. And let me know who your favorite G.I. Joe character is. See y'all next time.